Watching the chaos that has unfolded in the country's streets, our reporters are out and about bringing you live coverage. Of course, we're expecting that the #1 citizen of the country will be speaking. That is President Cyril Ramaphosa. What can he say that will calm the situation that we're in tonight? We're also expecting more details in terms of the deployment of the army that have been seen in different parts of Gauteng and KwaZulu Natal. Now, while the unrest spurs on, we of course have communities that are saying tonight they will not wait to have their shopping centers, their homes looted. Karinda Jagmohan is covering that angle for us. Let me take you straight to her. Karinda, good evening to you. Firstly, give us a sense of where you are and what is the local community there telling you about this decision to come together and protect themselves, as they've put it.
Good evening to you, Kathy. I'm actually in the Durban North area, and we're at the off-ramp to the Pick n Pay superstore that is here. And like you're saying, community members saying that they will not let their suburbs, their residential areas be prone to the looting and criminal elements that are at play. And you can see behind me, they are ready to stop vehicles, check what vehicles are doing, and they've also got their men on the ground waiting and checking around. So thank you for speaking to us, and our apologies to keep you waiting. This is one motorist, a biker that has been on the ground checking protests. And sir, I understand that there's also gunfire nearby. Your son is also there. Can you just tell me about why you are here on the streets today to protect Durban?
Sure. We just, as you can see behind us, just regular residents. Groups of us have got previous military training.
Sure.
So there's guys in charge of each zone. Here we've zoned off outside the freeway, off the Pick n Pay hypermarket, all the way down to the Mgani Bird Park. We barricaded off the roads. There's no chance of access. An hour ago we had to fire shots into the crowd coming off North Coast Road. A mob was heading towards us. We had the security companies with their 12-gauge shotguns, fired off the shots. These guys are just opportunists. They're coming through for affirmative shopping or whatever they want to do. They're not expecting a battle, so when they see confrontation, they do tend to back off. The Casper police vehicle went through, dispersed the crowd, so they disappeared. My son's just phoned me now to come back on that side. They're under gunfire now again, so we'll just go down and have a look. And all I'm trying to do is coordinate the different zones, but we have closed off and we're not prepared to let these guys ruin our lives.
Are you coordinating with police? What is your plan when the protesters do confront your team?
We have radio contact with the police. At each zone there's a security company who have direct contact with all the police, as you know. So we have a very strong community here in Durban North neighbourhood area, and they're very connected through the securities with the police. So like the incident we just had, within seconds the guys had radioed through. They are police reservists as well. So they're the guys doing the firing, not just anybody. It's not willy-nilly. It's not like the Wild West. And it's controlled, and then the police are there in seconds. The police can't be everywhere at the same time. Yeah. So this is the first defense and then a backup. But we're not going to let these guys come through.
Yeah. So, I mean, can you tell me just an estimate of what you know in terms of the civilians on the ground across the Durban area? What are you seeing in terms of the numbers?
We're seeing through the WhatsApp groups, we're all getting a lot of information. And you're seeing resistance. People have just had enough.
Yeah.
And not prepared to just share their own belongings with the rest of the country. So in groups, in areas like Queensborough, Malvern, Bluff and Mamsam-Toti, they've already created, same as we've done here, they've created their own barricades, and anybody or these groups that are coming in are being confronted and pushed back, and they've been successful everywhere. And it's just getting bigger. As people are getting the confidence, you can see, I think tonight most of us won't be sleeping. We've already got watch hours set up. So we're all on a WhatsApp base, and I think it's happening everywhere, right across Westville. I've got family in Westville. They've done the same thing. I know my brother's heading up a group there. So there's more and more groups of them, and civilians are taking it back.
And, I was going to ask how long you're going to be here, but let me just ask the final message. What is the destruction that you are seeing on the roads? And with that, what is your message right now to the KwaZulu Natal government?
You mean the destruction?
The
from
destruction
the
with
mobs?
the looters, yeah.
Yeah, look, I've got a shop down in town, 300 meters away. They absolutely obliterated the shop right. There's a super spa across the road from it that's been obliterated. Fortunately, all our stores have rolled shutters and they're all sealed off, so none of us have been at work. No income for a day, none of our staff, able to work. So the consequences are huge, and that's why I think residents of the smaller communities are just saying, you're not coming in, we're going to keep you out.
Thank you very much. So just remind us your name and surname again.
It's Jean-Marc Tosti.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. He is on his bike off now. His son is also part of the civilian group that is on the road. You can see he's going to speed off now to go to a place where we apparently are hearing the gunfire coming from. And like he says, people are tired of seeing the unrest on the streets. Thank you very much. They're taking this now into their own hands. What we're seeing here is when a vehicle comes down this road, the Pick n Pay hypermarket is just down this road. Those familiar with the Durban area will know this very large supermarket. They're stopping vehicles, checking who's inside this vehicle, checking whether they have permits to be out at this time. And what this is essentially civilians that are trying to prevent further looting from happening across these areas. We have been on the streets in Durban and Pietermaritzburg for the better part of the day, watching the looting unfold. And I can tell you that while yesterday we heard the damages from protests over the weekend amounted to over 100 million rand, it is very clear that that amount has increased and businesses have definitely suffered major losses worth millions. Kathy, we're going to be on the ground bringing you updates from places where civilians are now stationed, saying enough is enough and trying to assist with police to prevent further unrest from taking place across the city.